Come have some fun and watch some games. Time to get crazy. It's night and day. Yeah. Night and day back again.
Yes, we are back in the world of Plague Tale: Innocence.
Back with Hugo. Back with Amicia. This could be the final episode. This epilogue-looking kind of interaction that we're in.
Yeah, we're. I mean, at least thinking that way, because I mean, look at the town. Everything looks happy-go-lucky. What could be Plague Tale-y about this now?
As long as that's just a hearth fire instead of like a building burning in the distance.
Yeah, exactly. Or they're just burning people that have like disease or whatever. But up until now, it seems. I mean, after the Grand Inquisitor is gone, who else could be here?
Anyone, really. It just depends how many of the other people are corrupt or power hungry or were following in his teachings of the macula.
Yeah, I guess if there's a vacuum that's created from the Grand Inquisitor being like taken out of that top level,
definitely.
Then
so whoever fills it is
right.
potentially dangerous or potentially benevolent.
Whoever that person's and what his intention is.
Are you
or her?
You have an animation where you're getting out something new, but you're just chopping that same piece of that same thing over and over again.
It looks like he's hitting it with a baseball bat. Like how it like bounces back up and everything.
Oh man.
So, were you able to go home?
Yes. The
Team
nest
Big
is
Balls
still
didn't do
there.
that guy's
but
animation.
No, definitely not. They're
I can't
too.
believe the
Oh
rats are
wow!
gone for good.
Hey, they brought
Let's
back the
hope they
chicken
are.
plucking animation from the beginning of the game.
I thought that was a pig head for whatever reason. I was just like, what the heck? She's just like picking out the brains
Monsieur,
of it or something.
Hello, young man.
Still?
Want to try your hand at shooting?
Not me. My sister's really good. Right, Amicia?
The targets are all rats now.
Oh
after what
wow!
They've gone through.
That's pretty hilarious.
Do it. Show this
Right.
guy
Of course.
Let's
what
have
we're
a go.
made of.
Good.
So-
Good. The rule is simple. You have 6 stones, 6 possible shots. Try and shoot as many targets
Oh,
as
no
possible.
timer on this one.
Are you ready?
Dad gave us a harder test at the beginning of the damn game, dude.
Ready?
Go on, Amicia.
Okay. Oh, I love the like the objective has changed completely now.
Yeah. Side questing. Doing our best thing. Oh wow, you didn't even do the wind up. You're just like one shot,
Yes.
one
There we go.
one whirl, one twirl with slingster.
I wonder what happens if I hit a bird or something.
I doubt they program that interaction in.
Yeah, I highly doubt it as well, but it would be just fantastic. Just that last. There we go. It's just like a little.
Hey, you know how to do it. You won an apple. And all due respect.
Yes, Amicia.
Oh,
Well done.
I thought there's more to that sentence. And all due respect, you're kind of an idiot or something. We want
All
an
due
apple.
respect, you're
Apples
not
for you,
very
Hugo.
ladylike.
Yeah.
You're being like the princess of our.
Right, or
I
town
was
or
hungry.
whatever. Yeah.
As always.
Hey,
I knew they'd give it to him.
today we're celebrating
because they
the
already
third
gave
day
him
without
the
rats.
apple eating animation in
Isn't
the
it fair down the street?
Exactly.
Take a look.
Exactly. Yeah.
A real fair. I've never seen a fair before.
Hugo, Lucas is waiting for us. We should be getting back.
But it's a fair. Come on.
Hugo! Alright, but we can't stay long.
Hugo, can't be running around like this. You can still just get kidnapped.
We can rebuild the
Take me
village.
as I am, because I can't stay
There
long.
will still be empty houses.
If the bite leaves us in peace.
I kind of want to
People
see
will
what's
come
over
back
here. So,
eventually.
Hugo, I'm hoping you're going to be okay.
Might as well. It'd be funny if they just put every curiosity you missed in this little corner.
Oh,
on
that
the
would be
floor.
amazing. Yeah, you could just here 100% the game real quick just by turning the corner.
So is it true? You're going to deliver grain?
It's been 3 days since we've seen a rat. We have to get back to work.
You never know.
True that we don't see
Yeah.
anyone in the fields anymore. What a misery.
True, it could be
Precisely.
they're just hibernating now,
The nobles,
waiting
the
for
lords.
their
Do you think they'll get their
chance to
hands
pounce.
dirty?
Well, I mean, Hugo
Never.
is their
Their
lord
leader.
and master,
Yeah.
so he
And if
could
they want to eat,
overrun
they'll
the
have
city.
to pay us.
The ending
A
that we've
lot
seen
more.
so far,
Hey, but you're right.
Hugo could
telling
be
you,
ushering in like a new
everything
era
will
of
change.
villainy.
Rats were a
He
necessary
was the
evil.
commander of the
Right.
Black Rat Plague,
Right.
and it seemed like the Grand Inquisitor was actually trying to like do what he thought was best for the people by, you know, creating his new breed of white rats. So even though he went a little bit.
You got
Not so.
overzealous with
Yeah.
that, to say the least. Oh, are you shoveling poop? Interesting. I'll get out of your way.
Hey, I bet that pig has giant balls. Do pigs
Wow.
have spots like that in real life? Like, those pigs to me look like cows when we were in the
Does
area.
indeed have rather plump nards.
Ramirez and Johnson.
Yeah.
Courtesy of Ramirez and Johnson.
Yeah. It's just a little signature,
Yeah.
artist signature.
If you actually could take control of the camera and free roam it, and like, you know how hackers and modders like go outside the map with the camera
Right,
in some games,
right,
like,
yeah.
if you can take it and put it directly under the pig and go right up there and then zoom in super
Oh, just
hardcore.
underneath.
Yeah, it says on the underside of the scrotum. Brought to you by Ramirez and Johnson.
Just love John.
Love, yeah, it's just a heart.
Yeah. Oh man.
Alright, we're going to the
gents,
fair,
I guess,
guys.
Yeah.
Is there a problem?
Look, the problem is a kid and his sister are wanted around here by important people. And we just don't want any trouble here, you understand?
I can see very well. Hugo, we have to go.
They didn't want to program in a full carnival.
Come on.
At least they have the noises and everything.
I don't get it. If we're wanted, why wouldn't they capture us?
I guess he said they didn't want any trouble, so maybe that means there's no maybe there's no reward or anything for it. It's just like we're wanted. We're wanted by important people. That doesn't really mean the church anymore. Doesn't have to mean the church anymore, I guess.
I'm not sure who else it would be.
Hey
Inquisition,
Hugo,
like, it's either
the first one to arrive
English
at the cart
soldiers-
wins 20 apples.
20 apples?
You'll never beat me. Right, Slug?
What? You'll see.
Oh yeah? Then on 3.
Oh,
1, 2.
am I supposed to?
that's a clever way to get him to go home.
Yeah, yeah.
Or where he wants.
Am I actually supposed to beat him?
I would let him win, but
Yeah.
I mean, you're in control of Amicia.
But I kind of want to look for stuff too. Like Hugo's really, it's really bumming my style here. I really just want to look around meticulously to see if there's anything I missed.
Well, the other problem
But-
is if we're wanted, then we kind of have to stick with him so that he doesn't get captured for
Oh.
the 20th time.
That's true. Hey, sorry, Chickens. Let me just punch you out of the way really quick.
Like, yeah, you can kind of look around while we're moving. Oh, he's just sitting there.
Yeah,
so he
he's
can,
just chilling.
It looks like he won the race. So
Ah.
now you can go back and look around.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
soldiers around him. But yeah, you would think if they really didn't want trouble from these super important people, that they would freaking capture you and not take the risk of, oh yeah, you saw a girl and a boy and you let them go.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully they're a bit more merciful than the Inquisition was, because it took all of like 5 seconds for the guy to ask our dad, like, where are they? And he's like, I won't ask you again. He's like, oh, they're not here. All right. Just decapitates them or whatever immediately. So yeah, I'm imagining it's not as bad as the Inquisition, but I mean, who knows? There could be another power-hungry group
All right.
in the mix.
You won.
Yes! 20 apples!
We're actually starving. We have no apples. Sorry. This is just a convoluted way for you to get back.
We made
Hey,
it, Lucas.
Do you have everything? The St. John's wort, the hawthorn,
All of it. Let's go.
Good.
Can't you see from all these bags that we're carrying that we
Yeah,
have everything
really.
you need?
Amicia,
Yes?
why are they looking at me like that? Melly looked at me the same way. Then she left.
Uh-oh.
Because she doesn't like me anymore.
Hugo, she had other things to do.
That's not true. But it doesn't matter.
Hugo's getting used to
Is she
people
going to
freaking lying
sleep
to
much
him.
longer?
Yeah, exactly.
She has to get her strength
Like,
back.
yeah, you're just kind of
With the
lying to
herbs
my
you
face,
bought,
but I'm
she'll
used to
soon be back on her feet.
I'm used to
All
you
right.
doing that at this point.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting camera changes right there.
Hey,
You would think
Hugo,
Amicia would be.
What?
do you think I'm pretty?
You're ugly. Really ugly.
Ugly? Me?
You look like a big fat fly.
A fly? Your own sister? Oh, such a slur requires punishment.
Yay.
Yeah. So to bring some camaraderie.
Yeah.
That's nice.
The bond
Still-
is deeper now. So I was
yeah.
just about to say, you would think Amicia would never lie to her again after like the lies are what drove him
away. Yeah.
to almost get killed, and then she was super depressed and broken up about it for a month.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, she thought, she was responsible for his death because no one thought he was alive at that point too. Yeah.
And she took it super hard, which makes sense. So you would think she would be adamant, never lie to him again,
Right.
especially about crap like that, like
Where it's like,
minor.
yeah, like, well, he was asking like if mom's gonna be okay or whatever. And she's like, well, she has to be, or whatever. She's gonna make it. Blah blah blah. Let's say we're doing our best, or like, there are other ways to say that without giving the hard press, like, yes, for sure, she's guaranteed gonna be okay, and then God forbid something happens, and now he's like, oh, you said she was gonna be okay. What happened to you?
Yeah, I meant more the Melly lie because.
Oh yeah.
Big thank you to all Asobo Studio and our family members for their support during the development of this game, and big kisses to all Asobo Studio babies. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, it was like, if it wasn't babies, they're just like, thank you to everyone on our staff, and kisses for you too. It's like, you can't say that in this day and age. People will like press charges for harassment and shit, even if it's meant positively.
Yeah, I will. That's your raise. Here's your Christmas bonus.
This was pre-COVID, but yeah.
Yeah.
COVID was hitting hard, so your Christmas bonus this year is a kiss. Mwah! Get out of here.
Yeah. Oh, you scamp.
Yeah. So I meant the Melly lie, like, oh yeah.
She had other things to do.
Yeah. Like, that's not necessarily a lie.
Yeah.
But
I feel like they could have
explained it.
Yeah.
Like the thing with the mom's, like, if Lucas said the mom's gonna be fine, then the mom's probably gonna be fine. Like, oh, she's past, she's not in critical, she needs rest because she was probably, malnourished
And,
while
like,
she was in
tortured and
captivity.
whatever, yeah.
The torture looked so minor. It's like, she had scars or like it was movie torture.
Yeah,
Like,
that was like she got punched a few times.
right.
Type thing. Yeah.
And like hit with the tip of the knife and drag it down, and they always do that, like with a knife. And oh no, it's serious now. No, it's not. Real torture, the serious part starts, your toe is gone or your finger is gone.
Right.
They let you know.
Right
You are
out the gate.
screwed.
Yeah,
You will
yeah.
answer everything immediately, or you will have dismemberment.
Right.
Not just like, oh, here's a little
Here's the
scar
threat,
you can heal.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, I mean, even if they told
Stephanie Conagard? Oh, Stefan Conagard was Vitalis. I wanted to know who.
Oh, Vitalis was?
Yeah, because his voice was pretty well done.
Yeah.
Like you said, it was creepy.
Yeah.
Creepy freaky.
Creeper freaky. Oh, nice, yeah. So they have the whole game in French as well.
Yeah, it might have been
Pretty
a
cool.
French studio or whatnot. Léopoldine Serre. I do not know. Cécile Gatton.
Oh, what?
Bernard Gabet. Barbara. That's a very French name. Patrick Borg.
Borg,
Alright.
yeah.
He's a cyborg, evil person from Star Trek. Lois Hadieu. Emmanuel Grady.
Oh, never mind. Oh, it's German as well. So, I thought they just did a French rendition of it because it's set in ancient France or
Yeah,
whatever.
I thought the development team might have been French, as might have why they picked that
Yeah.
setting and all that. But
Right.
nope,
Now that's German too. Takes
that's
up
it.
a little bit, yeah.
just French, English, and German. That's
yeah.
unusual.
Yeah.
So it still could be the case.
Maybe, yeah. But I was gonna say it's nice that they had it's kind of like a historic piece, although it's not exactly what happened during those times. But it's still nice that they threw the original language in there as well.
Yeah.
Maybe it's actually done better in the original language. Who knows? But
Maybe.
I wouldn't be able to tell because I don't speak French. But the sound could be better.
I thought this voice cast did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
So
I did like the villains for sure, and the voice of the villains,
Nicholas and
Nicholas
Vitalis.
and Vitalis both were very good at playing that role,
Yeah.
and they were very different from each other too, which I liked because you have
You
that.
would hope.
Yeah, exactly.
If they gave Vitalis this super strong burly man
Yeah.
voice, that would not have worked so well.
Yeah, for sure. And Nicholas has that it's very mysterious, but still very like badass and like intimidating at the same time. Yeah, so I think they played very well.
Really,
Ah,
that's it.
no.
This was a small
Yeah.
dev team.
Interesting.
So, oh, Knights. Achievement unlocked Knights. Where's the
Nice.
days?
Yeah, really. I've been playing this night and day and still haven't gotten it yet.
And they treat it like you've just been playing at night.
Yeah.
Raggle! Alright, so
Oh man.
I was hoping that the credits would be a little bit longer since we were going to do our usual thing and talk about the game here
Yeah.
before we bid you guys adieu on this one. But yeah, overall, interesting game. Makes sense that it was a smaller dev team. Every once in a while, okay, so we did get the very last flowers.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Christmas rose. Yeah, it's just those two. There's 2 flowers, 2 gifts.
A ton of curiosities. Because
yeah.
that was where,
Like
at least
9.
a few of them, the 4 chunk in the middle was where we were talking about should we kill people or not.
Right, yeah,
And there
exactly.
was apparently no, maybe there's an achievement or something if you kill 0 people.
Yeah,
or
like a
only-
pacifist run, or
Yeah.
only the people that you're required to kill.
Yeah,
But,
Conrad and Vitalis and maybe no one else, but
Mm.
very interesting. So that 4, but yeah, then there's the other ones where we just legit missed some stuff.
Yeah, that sucks. I mean, we started being pretty meticulous about like going through, making sure we hit every single thing, but there's some areas that's like someone's in danger, someone's in trouble, and then you're trying to get to them. Like
Yeah.
you're not really gonna stop and hold off while you're looking around and all that kind of thing. So yeah, we missed a couple here and there, but for the most part, we got a decent amount, especially like the flowers and stuff. I'm glad that we got that because that's like that was a nice thing between Hugo and Amicia kind
Yeah.
of throughout the whole game. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if the ending changes at all if you get everything. I really doubt it.
Yeah.
But there's a chance that the ending changes. I would have liked definitely to have seen more explanation as far as this. Maybe they're trying to leave it open for a sequel because it's a minor cliffhanger. Like there's no danger other than that hint that the sister and the boy are being looked for by important people.
Yeah. Right.
That could be anyone. It could be like still the Inquisition, still the English army, or it could be like a new kind of force that's, I mean, any people in power who are aware of the macula might want Hugo.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
So they could have it as like part of this, Templar regime or this other secret society,
Right. Right. And I mean, it is kind of
Illuminati kind of group. Yeah.
right. It is kind of the ultimate weapon. So if you can get it, like compared to, like if you can control the rat plague versus just like men and like knights and whatever, like you're done. Like that's kind of game over. Well, I mean, you do have the light is the issue, but now the rats can form like tornadoes to take out fires and all that kind of thing. So at that point, they can find a way to get in a little bit everywhere, I think.
Yeah, that's true. If you can make the rats subtle instead of use them as this flood, then I agree that it's his ultimate weapon.
Yeah,
If they can only go in swarms, then people can start to build up defenses or whatnot.
Maybe.
But if you like just send 5 rats into infiltrate and they're like this ultimate assassin group, they can go into any castle and be undetected and just
Right.
fight some dude in their sleep. No armor, no anything. Because they took out fully armored soldiers in this, but I don't necessarily think they would always... Anyway, that's nitpicking. But as far as the game in and of itself, definitely. Oh yeah, let's check out the codex. Or is that's just what we
That
just
was-
saw?
yeah,
okay,
that's
it's
the
the exact
codex,
same
yeah.
codex from the game.
Yeah.
Okay, so extras is kind of an hyperbole.
Yeah, exactly.
Extras are just part of the normal game in the credits that we just saw. So tons of extra stuff from outside the game. But anyway, yeah. So the game was fun. I like the setting. I like the characters. I think Amicia didn't take good enough care of Hugo, and the gameplay was fun, but overall, the rat thing that drove the whole story forward. I was pretty disappointed with.
Yeah,
From
yeah.
the very beginning, I thought there was like rats plus X, like
yeah.
when we left the town,
Right.
and there was the Inquisition and like the you hear the earthquake and you hear something burst from the ground, and then
Right.
soldiers get eaten. I thought that was definitely not rats.
Right.
Why would rats be like causing earthquakes and exploding out of the earth and capturing people and destroying? That just sounded like not a rat type behavior, much like the tornadoes.
Right,
But
right.
yeah, I wanted there to be more to it than that, and if there is, the plot still leaves it a little bit open for that, but that should have been explained in this game more.
Yeah,
Even if
yeah.
there is more to it, they could have at least like made a solid reference to it in
Right.
this game, and then like made it a more overt or obvious cliffhanger for the next one. Because just rats as the only thing that's going on, it doesn't really make sense, and it's just like just kind of underwhelming. I mean, rats as an infestation can bring plague and disease, but it's rats. I don't know, maybe it's from the 21st century kind of mentality,
Right,
but you
right.
don't think of them as this end-all, be-all devastation.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I kind of, well, I agree with that. Like the rats were great when they just like opened up, with the rats like taking the dog and everything like that. Like I thought there was going to be something larger at stake as well, something a bit more supernatural than just like the macula as a disease. Also somehow like combines the will of whoever has the macula with the rats, and now you become like the mega rat, like the alpha rat, and you control them. Like that's not at all where my mind was going. I thought the gameplay was fun. I liked that like Amicia isn't always this like super badass with the sling. Like she has to find other ways around to use the sling.
Mm-hmm.
I would have preferred it if they made it a little harder to use the sling, like or not necessarily even to use the sling, but have harder situations for her to be in, harder enemies to fight, or just like situations that require you using the sling as like puzzles instead of just brute forcing. Because every now and then they would, but for the most part, it's not like it's adding to the story in a different element that you haven't seen already.
Right.
It's pretty standard. I like the characters for sure. Characters were great. For the most part, like the people that come in and out that you see, I thought Lucas was gonna die like immediately after, but apparently he's a ride or die here. And yeah, I thought they could have had a lot more with the rats, and something supernatural like being conjured is something that's conjuring the rats, and like have it be kind of this curse or this evil thing that lives underneath it all that is controlling Amicia. And even if Lucas, or not Lucas, if Hugo's macula was actually like due to that supernatural being and not just the rats, then I think that would have been a great way to kind of tie it all together, instead of just have it be, oh, rats and there you go. Now here's different rats that you're gonna fight instead of the same thing.
Right.
It's like rats v rat. You could have had it like be a totally different animal or something that is supernatural that Vitalis is controlling, and now you actually have this extra element introduced into the game that we've seen. That like we've seen rats for so long that you can kind of get tired of it a little bit.
Right.
Yeah. So there's a lot of great potential, and if they actually like worked on that potential, that would make it more awesome for the next game that they set up a potential like cliffhanger for. But as for right now, I don't really know what they could use like for the next game, other than, oh, they're wanted. But everything in the world seems happy-go-lucky now, so
Yeah.
it's not really like the same stakes as it was.
Yeah, I mean, clearly they wouldn't necessarily have to have the same stakes if they wanted to set it up with a happy ending and still show a continuation, but they could have, just had a quick scene of, like, this next level threat.
Yeah.
That's, like, watching them as they leave on the cart
Right.
from a hillside, like, something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
And then, like, you see, like, has the boy escaped, is like, yeah, okay, good, track his progress, something quick like that.
Right.
It was hard to get them out of the hands of Vitalis, or it was hard to make sure that they would survive Vitalis, so we can't let that go to waste. Like, to
Right.
show that, like, this girl and her little kid brother didn't defeat the entire Inquisition on their own.
Right.
Some of the soldiers were taken out of the picture by there was a lot of better ways to do it for Plague Tale Evolution or Plague Tale. Now we have facial emotion, whatever the next game is gonna be called.
I love Plague Tale Evolution is just like a mix between Plague Tale like Matrix or something like that.
Not Revolution.
Yeah. It just for some reason reminds me. It would just be incredible to see the two mixed together somehow. It's like a sling except in slow motion.
Plague Tale, what do you call it? Plague Tale Reloaded.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a sling, so.
Yeah, I
Plague
guess so.
Tale Revolutions of the Sling. Anyway, but yeah, that's one of the reasons the rats were weak. Like you said, you see them all over the place, so it clearly became, instead of a horror element like it was very early on when they were first introduced, it just became a gameplay mechanic where, okay, the rats are obviously a puzzle piece. We have to move light here and move the rats here and deep-a-dope-a-doo.
Right.
So there's zero like horror element with the rats after the first couple times you see them.
Yeah.
Like
for sure.
in order to make it a horror game, you have to make the things that you're fighting or the threats horrifying.
Yeah.
So
right.
if they're just clearly a puzzle element where okay, manipulate this, light that, move this, then it takes you out of any sort of horror atmosphere.
Right.
So that was kind of weak. Also, rats, they're a low-level plague. So like you would think rats should be the kind of like the harbinger of the true threat. Here's the rats. Oh no, that's foreboding. Now they imply there's going to be some large ass super deadly thing going on in the universe.
Right,
and
right.
again, if there is for the next game, that's great, but they needed to hit that harder in this game to keep the rats like more relevant and the bigger picture at least introduced. If there is no bigger picture and the next game is Plague Tale Evolution and it's just like more rats in more forms, and like the jokes that we were making in this game actually come to pass where it's not just rat tornadoes, now it's rat Green Lantern punch fists and rat Green Lantern mechs, and Amicia and Hugo is fighting in this giant human mech made of rats, and he's fighting another dude who's made, that's phase 3. Oh no, what's phase 4? Like phase 4 is this giant face, it's like Thanos, and he snaps and like all the rats explode and they reform. But I can snap faster. About my phase 4. It's just like, okay. So there has to be more than rats, obviously, or it just gets comical. Like already in this game, when it came to the rat tornadoes, that was jumping the shark for us.
Yeah, for sure. That was to the point. Even the setting in which they had it, like before the rat tornadoes started coming, was awesome. I thought they did a great job, like turning Amicia's like home village into this like hellscape that the rats have taken over now.
Yeah, good point. That was amazing.
And that was, they did a fantastic job. And some of the scenery, some of the settings that they did in this game was fantastic. Like when like you see it like over time being more and more decrepit, more and more like overtaken by this plague and the rats and whatever. But then immediately to like have that kind of have like rat tornadoes get thrown into the mix, like off the heels of such a grand, like awesome looking thing. It was just like, oh, that kind of really cheapens the blow. And exactly what you said. It's just like, then that just like totally takes you out of it. It's like, oh, this is like comedy now. like Ratnado is coming to take off, like shut down the lights, not even kill you, but just like take off the lights so then the other rats can come and eat you or something. It's like, I don't know, like scientifically how that works or what's happening at all, but like, I guess scientifically, how could there even be a Ratnado in the first place? So maybe I'm looking at that in the wrong light anyway. But yeah, I don't know how, like, I feel like there's other ways that they could use to take off the lights rather than other than that.
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, the rats could start gathering, and then, like, they gather at the ground level, not, like, worldly.
Yeah, start, then, like, building a foundation on themselves.
Yeah, well, maybe even that, but they start gathering, and then, like, they launch, like, a little plume of rats.
Right,
like,
maybe,
like,
yeah.
And then that, if you let the gathering happen, then they do the launch, and some of the rats hit the lights, and then it takes it out. At least it's somewhat more realistic.
Right.
And they still have that gathering element, because that's what they were really going for. The developers were like, we need Amicia to be able to hit a moving target.
Yes.
And it can't be just rats launching at the lights, or else she doesn't have enough time
to
get
that,
if it's an instant launch. So something like that could have worked a little bit better, but still, all these as soon as you start analyzing any of this, then it becomes, well, if the rats can evolve to the point where they're capable of X, they should just be able to evolve to the point where they're capable of not caring about the light.
Right.
Hey, let's eat them. So there's lunch. We don't care about the lights. It's easier to not care about the lights than it is to form a tornado. So I don't know. Yeah, some of the rat stuff, it just went too far because it was a one-trick pony. If instead of the rats the whole game long, they introduced a new type of animal, like bats, okay? Bats are still plague-related. Toads are plague-related. Like blood raining from the sky or something. Like I mean, there's tons of cool plague-related stuff that they could have had introduced that was capable of putting out fires, things like that. There was a lot of potential here. They just needed to go beyond this rat. So if the next game is just like, you know, Rat Puzzle Simulator 2, not really that interested.
Right.
Like what you said, like I didn't necessarily think that, I wasn't looking for a super harder time with the sling elements of the game, although I agree with you. I was more interested in a harder difficulty with the puzzles, because all of the puzzles were just like, oh, you learn a new thing, it's now on your wheel, let's use that new thing to defeat these people in this sequence. Like, very few of the puzzles were in any way challenging. It was just like go to like from point A to point B where there's a light source to point C where you take out a guard or rats or whatever. It's either guards or rats, not usually both. And then like you just proceed in a very clear fashion using the newest thing that you've unlocked.
Right.
It would have been cooler to me if you got that full wheel, except for the Hugo controlling rat thing, because that one has to be a surprise at the end.
Right.
You got the full wheel above that like halfway through the game instead of like you get one per chapter, and when the full wheel is unlocked, that's it. You're done with the whole game. Tutorials are done, and then the game is done 2 chapters later is like not the way I would have preferred it to go down.
Right. Yeah.
Give you the full wheel, let you have the freedom, and then make the puzzles harder from that point forward. Yeah, baby step it every time you get a new one so that you can, okay, this is how I use that. But then make the person, the player, apply their knowledge.
Yeah.
Now that I've seen all of these, I need to know which one do I use here, here, and here, and here, and be able to figure it out.
Right.
That would have been better to me.
Yeah, I could see that for sure. And like that way, like now you have the choice of like, if you have everything early, now you have the choice like, do I want to make this super efficient? Like, do I want this to be as efficient as possible? Like, use as little resources as possible? Or do I want to, like, kind of gung-ho this because now I have the option to do so? Like, I can take down, like, 7 guards at once if I want to because now I have all of this available to me as opposed to, oh, I'm going to sneak over here, use the rats on this guy because I just got it, so I know I have to use it on this guy. Or when they have the Deverantis or whatever for his helmet, you know you have to Deverantis him. Or I guess at some points later on they'll like give you the option, do you want to kill him or do you want to make the rats kill him? And that's kind of like your only 2 things. If you had a lot of other choices there, then that would be fantastic. And make them harder so you have like I mean I would say I think a lot of the guards were pretty easy, and the boss fight that you had in the beginning with the big guy. Conrad. Like nothing like that was ever saw again. Right. Like we thought when we were going to pick up the blacksmith, I forget his name. Roderick, yeah. Well, when we were going to find Roderick and save him, I thought, I was like, oh, finally another big guy like to take down is like a mini boss fight or something. Mm-hmm. And then you literally just chandelier and that's game over. Yeah. Like, so there was only 2 boss fights essentially, or 3 boss fights, in this game. And I would have loved to see, because they're 2 little kids, and one of them, like Hugo, okay, he gets like this amazing power at the end. So the boss fight has to be a little bit harder. Okay, that's understandable. But like Amicia is this teenage girl, like she's going against these guards that have trained like to fight. Right. Like you would think she would have a harder time than just like, so like either throw rats in their direction or just throw a rock in their head and that's game over. So yeah, I would like to see some harder to fight people, utilize the sling a little bit more, and you have opportunities to use new combinations of ammo that you get. So yeah, that would have been a lot nicer to me than just kind of the standard like, oh, here's a guard, throw a rock in his head, or the rats eat him. that's kind of game over.
Yeah,
again.
yeah, I agree. Because there's potential there. That's, I think, the main underlying concept of this game is potential.
Yeah, I agree.
So they had so much potential with the rats and the horror settings. Like you said, the settings were awesome from the beginning. Peaceful, and then Inquisition already. Okay, this is super dangerous.
Yeah.
You got to stealth your way out, and there's soldiers everywhere killing everyone. Pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Then you've got the supernatural, but it wasn't just mainly rats going. I mean, minor supernatural, but it's just rats. So rats, supernatural rats everywhere, and it's pretty cool. You have to run for your life, and then you escape through those freaking crazy, nasty, dripping blood gore-filled rat tunnels.
Yeah.
Which again, like. Just rats did that? How underwhelming. That looked like it was the build for something bigger. Potential, again. So you have... But going through those tunnels was awesome.
Yeah,
the
for
setting
sure.
was awesome. And when you go back and you see the ravaged countryside and like Laurentius's place with the piles, mountains of pig corpses everywhere, it's so freaky.
Sure.
Yeah, that's like... And then... You know, you're escaping, things are burning down around you, burning buildings. Like, there's so many places in this game that looked great, and the potential was there for the story to be great, but the payoff wasn't just what we were looking for. Like, you could have had these awesome boss fights, like you said, they're kids, so Amicia and Hugo, after you get Hugo back, like, working together, or Amicia and Roderick working together. Like, oh, okay, Roderick can't just overpower all these guards with this, like, he's not like this. Maybe if you got his dad instead of him, and maybe they're marketing it only for kids. That's why the whole good guy team was only kids and teenagers. But like, yeah, if he had been the hulking blacksmith guy and it was, you know, like Hulk Hogan taking people down left and right, then it would make more sense. But Roderick was like shorter than these guys and less massive than them, and they're wearing full armor. And like if he was doing more judo moves, then yeah, the shorter guy can take out the bigger guy no problem. But he's just like kind of grabbing them and like just dragging them down with like pure brute force moves. So they could have had more like Amicia and Hugo. It would have been more like if somebody's doing the brute force move and he's not more forceful or more massive than the other guy, just he jumps up and grabs the guy's neck and the guy's like, just if he was doing the judo, it would have made much more sense. Like always, like sweep the leg and drop the guy and grab his arm and then snap him. No problem. But as it was, it was a little awkward. And they could have had more boss fights with the interaction, like the team, where Roderick distracts him one way, or Amicia hits him and the sling doesn't one-shot a dude with a helmet, but it like hits him, nor does it knock a helmet off. Have you ever worn? Well, I guess most of you haven't. But if you have a helmet, it's not like that. Oh, a little Brock. Woo! Like the worst helmet ever.
Especially when that comes down past the side.
Right,
of your
with
face.
the visor and all that. So they could have had Amicia's sling nail him in the helmet, and he turns, and then Roderick can like take a blacksmith hammer and just one-shot the guy from there. Like, or Hugo like distracts him with either throwing rocks or with like rats before he's gained full power, and then the soldiers get scared, and then that runs them towards Amicia, who can do a well-timed sling like right in the face there. But there's plenty of potential for the gameplay to have been awesome, and for the boss fights to have been, like you said, more of them and more varied.
Yeah, exactly.
Because the Vitalis one was awesome. The Conrad one was fine for an initial boss fight. The Nicholas one was pretty underwhelming. The gameplay of the Vitalis boss fight was amazing. But the actual story of what was going on was, once again, look at the rats in different ways. They're on a tentacle. It's just like, okay, we've seen the rats.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, and even like the grand reveal of like, oh no, new rats. And it's just like, they're just like white rats now. They're more deadly or whatever. Now that they're controlled by Vitalis, and it seems like they didn't have the same hang-ups as like the black rats did.
Right, they didn't care about the lights.
Yeah, but that was about it. Like, I would have loved to see something a bit more. Like, it's supposed to be, I guess it's not supposed to be like strictly horror game, but you can still make it a little bit more like grotesque.
Yes.
Even if they were like dead rats, like undead rats, like zombie rats, like rotting away or
Yeah.
something like that. You don't have to like make them all look like that in game, but have a cutscene to like make it seem like have a close up of it. It's like, oh no, this is what you're fighting,
Right.
And it's like in your face now, of like, oh no, we have to take this out as best we can. But instead of just like white rats, I feel like there's again potential for it to be so much cooler than what it actually was. And yeah, I think like even in the gameplay wise, like you can tell other people on your team to do certain things, like Hugo to hold this like turn or this bridge open or whatever. We saw before Roderick to open up or pull up the bookcase for her to get the stuff.
Right.
So they have that element, but just utilize that like in fights, like you said, because you don't really see a lot of that. It's mostly Amicia just doing her thing, and the other people just aren't really around when there's a major fight happening.
Right.
So I feel like, yeah, you could utilize that a lot more, especially with them at the castle. Like, have someone get to the castle that's a huge fight that's not the rats. Because, yeah, I'm kind of, like, at that point, we're tired of seeing the rats. We know the castle is their stronghold. They've set up home here, and they know if, like, someone discovers them at the castle and brings reinforcements, they're not going to survive. So, like, have them take out someone on their own ground that's not, like, Nicholas or whatever, because that was the only fight that we saw on that ground at all. So it was, yeah, underwhelming, I guess, to say the least. But and so much potential is the only reason it was underwhelming, because I was really looking forward to the things I thought they were going to do, and then they just really didn't deliver in the way that I thought.
Yeah, the intro definitely
set the
made
bar
us,
high.
Yeah,
it set the bar high.
We liked where the game was heading, but then it didn't seem like it actually progressed to get there.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we had different ideas of where it was ending up, but I mean, it did do a lot of things well. The graphics are very nice, very well done. It was a small dev team, I guess, so that makes sense, because every once in a while you see a game that's like, here's a game by just one person. And it's like, whoa, this looks pretty damn impressive. Some of the 3D like looks like a legit team. So I don't know what that one person was doing. But yeah, in this case you have a small team, and this team still put together a game that looks fantastic. The music was great. I mean, I think the music wasn't as good as something like The Last of Us, where you've got music kind of like this ambient, mostly setting up it kind of sets up the world building and sorrowful kind of tone of the world.
It's like another element in the story as well.
Yeah, so it was kind of in that direction. I don't think it did it as well, but it's fine. It's not like a AAA title.
Right.
So, I mean, the game did a lot well, and some of the settings were just fantastic. So awesome to like go through those creepy caverns that were like made of bone with black gore or blood dripping from the everywhere that you went.
Yeah.
I don't know how everybody didn't get the plague by now, but our whole team is just like, oh, we got the plague, we're dead. That's why there's no epilogue. But yeah, I would have liked to have seen definitely more as far as story development and gameplay development. Oh, that was one other thing. It was too like clean that the characters were all like friendly. Just every character was exactly what they said they were going to be, and the story would have been so much more interesting if the mom was spared because she had been working with the Inquisition.
Yeah, for sure.
And
or like Melly and stuff like that.
Right, Melly, that was the second.
Yeah, right.
Because it makes no sense for Melly and Arthur, two thieves living on their own, to rush an Inquisition camp just to get you out. Like, what? For what? Why? Like, no, it works so much better if they were doing that to play the long game, because they knew that they could sell Hugo back as like much more of a profit for them.
Right.
Or if Arthur had been captured, instead of just somehow managing, like, you go to the university and I'll get Arthur out and it'll work perfectly. Like, what? No, if Arthur had been captured, but the only way to get him out from hundreds of armed, trained soldiers was to cut the deal where she brings them Hugo, and
right.
like Melly does the betrayal. Because as it was, she didn't serve any purpose in the end anyway. She lived, and she was not interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, she helped you out through the story, so like her being alive at the end was cool in that it was happy ending,
Right.
but it wasn't interesting. Like it would have been much more interesting and served the story if she had betrayed you to
Yeah.
get Arthur out. So if that's the reason why Hugo got captured instead of this other big Amicia Hugo lying thing, if Melly gets Hugo and brings him back to the Inquisition, and then you have to deal with that.
Right,
So,
right.
anyway, I would have think one of these betrayals would have made the story much more interesting. Have
Yeah.
the characters have to come at odds, as opposed to like every person that you meet, even the thieves, are totally trustworthy friends.
Right, yeah. I mean, I did like that, like Roderick was there to like put his life on the line, like to help Amicia and Hugo like through it and everything like that. I thought that was a great kind of. The way the story was going, I didn't think that they were gonna like kill anyone off, because it was just like so happy, like to that point. Although like you did see terrible things here and there, but like for the most part, like nothing bad really happens to the group.
Yeah, the main
that
kid
much.
characters were almost immune.
Yeah. So once Roderick died, I was like, oh, they're trying to like push something at least a little bit heavier. But I think they could have leaned more in that direction, make it a little bit more darker, even with like, yeah, you being betrayed by someone. I thought Melody was a great target of that. Like when you said like, oh, she could potentially just take Hugo to the Inquisition to trade for Arthur, when Lucas and Amicia are going to her old castle. Like
Right.
that's totally within the realm of possibility. She could do it because she doesn't really know the extent of what Hugo has, but she just knows the Inquisition want him, and she wants her brother back.
Right. She doesn't care about Hugo.
And,
She's
yeah.
out for her and herself and her brother.
And her brother, yeah. And
Makes sense.
And even then, like Amicia told her, like she's not going to get money for saving them because the Darude family is now broke, is no more. So now there's nothing for her. So it's like, if there's nothing that I can like get from your parents or your family, then I'll find it some other way, and then you can just get it from the Inquisition. So yeah, I thought that would be. I mean, that would have been great. Maybe even the mother, like working with Vitalis, like even if she doesn't want to, but just to find a solution for Hugo.
Right.
Then yeah, I mean, you can understand the mother's going to want to save her child by any means necessary, even if that means like working with the enemy. Like that makes sense. So you can make that more, I guess, more gray instead of just the standard black and white. Here's the good team, here's everyone that loves you and is all for you, and here's the bad team, and you kill all of them, and it just becomes this this really like uninteresting kind of back and forth.
Right.
That happens.
It's too predictable. Yeah.
Yeah.
The mother working with Vitalis, like you said, reluctantly, but doing it for Hugo.
Mm-hmm.
It also explains why the mother would have been in the Inquisition hands for months and not actually severely hurt.
Yeah. Right.
Like surface wounds only. So that would have made that plot element work better and make more sense. So, or even at the end where Melly, her point for driving the plot forward was she wanted revenge immediately, right away. Arthur got killed. She wanted revenge right now. No plans, just go. Like if she had been devoured by the white rats at the very end before, like as Hugo was, and maybe even the trauma of seeing that is what Hugo needed to push him into being able to have phase 2.
Right.
And that was the only thing that allowed him to fight Vitalis at an even level. That would have worked better for the plot, and it would have made sense for like Melly's kind of resolution for she just wanted Vitalis, and nothing that anybody could do would hold her back or restrain her. Even when Vitalis has this rat army, she just sees red because of Arthur. She charges, and then he uses the rats to devour her. It all works better that way.
Yeah.
Much more cohesive story. So, developers of A Plague Tale: Innocence, if you would like to hire us or other developers, night and day writing services are available at a reasonable price. And we can make your story so much cleaner. If you need a script doctor, give me a call. I will improve your story.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely reach out. It'll be fun. I would love that. That'll be great. So, yeah, just shoot us an email. Let us know.
So in any case, I guess if I were to give this one a rating, it would be probably a 6 out of 10. Because there was a lot good, but that the payoff just wasn't there for most of it.
Yeah, I agree. I think, like you said, they did quite a few things well here. Like the scenery and the overall like look of the game, fantastic. I really like how what they set out to like accomplish visual wise. I think they landed it pretty damn cool. I think the even like the environments, the sceneries, like when you just come across the castle that they were gonna hold up at, and like it's the lightning and thunder, like the storm is happening, and you see it in the background, and the lightning is actually what's influencing the rats and that kind of thing. Like that part of it was just awesome to me. I thought that was really well done, and the like the tunnels that you go through that you have to like fight through, it's like just gnarly and nasty.
Yeah.
It just looks like like there's skeletons and remains and everything, and it's dripping down, and the visuals on Amicia's, like I guess her fall or her like nightmare that she went through or whatnot, like all of that, it was trippy. It was really well done. It like all of that stuff was fantastically handled. But yeah, just the story element and the gameplay, like you said, it was just lacking because the bar was set so high. I had really high hopes for it going into it early, and they just really didn't deliver on that front. So potential is there. I would play the next one when it comes out if if they just utilize that potential just a little bit more. I think they have something with a really good like future if they can frame it in the way that I thought they were going to. So I agree with that. I would say like 6.5 or 6 out of 10 for sure on this one. It's worth a play, I would say, because it's pretty quick if you go through the story. So if you're looking for something to play just to kind of pass the time and also have a little bit of fun with, I wouldn't steer away from the game at all. But yeah, I think story-wise, it just has a little bit more that they could have squeezed out of it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, maybe some of the criticism is a little bit unfair. Like, if there is a difficulty setting, and we chose normal, and there's actually hard and very hard, we should have chose... we can't even start a new game?
I think you can go back.
Oh, okay. I'm
Yeah.
losing my mind.
Yeah, there you go.
Alright, so is there a difficulty setting? So we can turn off aim assist or make it lower. Okay,
Yeah.
so that would help. Making aim assist lower would have helped.
Yeah.
But as far as like the puzzles, like
that
and the
would-
drops,
yeah.
because hey, if you guys ever play this game, never get Adarail. Never get Adarail. It's so pointless. There are more tools in the game than are necessary to actually get every single upgrade.
Yeah.
So Adarail is total garbage. Like,
I guess that they're not like, unless they're accounting on you not like looking around for extra tools or whatever. Like if you're just a straight up person that doesn't look around for extras at all and will just stick to the line the story will give you, then maybe Adarail is kind of worth it. But if you're looking around at all, I mean, chances are you're going to find at least enough to get what you want. So it's not really all that worth it, yeah.
Yeah, again, if there were a higher difficulty mode, then and it reduced the drops, great. I would have liked that for a number of reasons. But the whole concept that you just brought up is, if Adarail is the if you're not looking around so that you're not picking up all of the tools, then you probably aren't looking around enough to be able to afford Adarail because it's a tier 3 upgrade.
Yeah.
So those two things are antithetical.
That's true,
It
yeah.
doesn't really work.
Right, yeah.
So if you are looking around, anyway, just don't get Adarail.
Yeah.
We could have used the final sling and the final ammo, and like some of these things would have made more of a difference than Adarail.
Right, for
So
sure.
we thought we were planning for the long term, but lo and behold, the game gave you plenty of drops everywhere, so there was no real final long term to plan for.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, I would have preferred, like, if you hit new game right now, is there any?
If I just confirm it,
Yeah, if you confirm it, is there any further difficulty? No, there isn't.
seems like it just
So-
launches you right into it.
Yeah, the closest thing we could have gotten to difficulty is make auto aim assist
Yeah,
low,
lower,
not even
yeah.
off, but low.
Right. which like in some situations I messed up on the sling, but for the most part, like it's not really that hard. I mean,
if you have to use sling and you didn't have the option to toss,
yes, yeah,
and if you have to use sling and auto aim is low, I think that would have really upped the challenge there.
right, yeah, I could see that for sure. But in it just being like aim assist is the only thing that you can use to make the game harder for you. I mean, that doesn't really change anything story-wise, puzzles-wise, and
Right.
also or drops, and you can just toss Ignifers.
Right,
you can
that's
just,
the problem. You need toss to not be
right.
perfect aim toss.
Exactly.
Even with aim assist low, toss is so fast.
Yeah,
That's
right.
probably why they put it in the game, because like using the sling takes that wind up.
Yeah.
So if you can't toss, it'll make a lot of things a lot harder, but that would be more appropriate.
Yeah. Or just not let you toss in certain scenarios, or certain things you can't toss.
Or shorten the range of toss.
Maybe, yeah.
And then you're pretty much good. So like it makes sling have much more of a distinct advantage and purpose.
Yes.
Separate the two more obviously.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that. Because, like, aim assist was nice and convenient when you just aim and it's, like, immediately on their head. But for the most part, like, a low aim assist, I don't think that's going to be enough to fix a lot of the, the issues with the ease that you come about with the...
I don't know. For me, it probably would have. Maybe not for you, because you're much better at FPS, quick reaction kind of
Maybe,
game,
yeah.
like Twitch.
Since I have that background, I am a little bit more inept to, like, to finding that target pretty quick on it. But
for me, there were a few scenes, not near the beginning as much, but like near the end when we don't have all the sling upgrades and the speed sling upgrade all that, like when the guards are charging and Amicia and Melly are trying to leave the camp and you have to take some out really fast. There's no auto aim there. It would take me a few more tries. And some scenes near the end with rats coming everywhere left and right with tornadoes multiple directions and things like that. That would have been harder with low aim assist. I'm thinking more like no aim assist. It depends on how low is.
Yeah, exactly.
And the Vitalis fight did not give you tons of time to like go, rat this, rat that, like run from this, run from that, run from that, and then destroy their tornado or whatever, and then let your guys have a clear path.
Right.
I don't know. I think the low aim assist would have helped, at least for my level, make it more of a challenge.
Maybe, yeah, maybe it would have impacted your gameplay a decent amount, but yeah, I mean, for me, making that the only difference, I think that would probably make me have to redo like a fight here or there, like maybe 1 or 2 times before like you really zero in on it, and then it's like, okay, I know I have to go here. I'm gonna make it as efficient as I can, and boom. Just because I mostly come from FPS, and I don't like the first time I started playing like more heavy story-based games was just a few years ago. So my whole background is the exact opposite of what you're talking about.
Right.
So yeah, and I feel like a decent amount of people are in that category. So maybe that wouldn't impact you as much. And if that's the case, then it's like it's a little bit more inconvenient, which makes it nicer that it's a little bit harder. But I don't think it's gonna be on that same level that like of a challenge that you would actually want out of it. Because I was anticipating when that sling became a thing that like we would have a lot of really hard fights to fight with that sling.
Yeah.
And like when I got the Nicholas boss fight, I was like, yes, finally I can try and use the sling like really cool, really efficiently. Yeah. Especially because Amicia is not like Batman where she can like dive out of the way of something. If she gets hit, she gets hit, and that's a one-shot kill. So you have to be on your P's and Q's on it. And it just was not like that at all. It's like, oh god, no. I'm never gonna get the opportunity.
Yeah, it's just slow Nicholas plodding around.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can take your time to find cover, take out a few lights here and there.
Yeah, exactly. And then, he's on fire now. Throw off the fire, and then rats eat him, and that's game over. Yeah.
It looks cool. It looks amazing, but the payoff is not what you want.
Again, not there. So, there's. I think like maybe. I mean, I like that. That's an option. So even if like someone like you that's like more story-based games and stuff like that, like you would probably do better at the puzzles than I would. So if they had harder puzzles, that's
what I was looking for.
Yeah. Then I would be probably, it would take me a little bit more time to figure out the puzzles. It would take you a little bit more time to figure or to get your aim down precise with the sling. I think that would be great. That would be like perfect there. But it's just as it is right now with everything out of the box. I think there's still that potential that has to get brought towards it. So.
Yeah, because even from the beginning, some of the tutorial stuff was never really paid off. Like, you can leave Hugo separately, and then if you do that for too long, he'll start to
freak out.
To make noise, and it'll put you into a dangerous situation. But like, they could have done so much with that, and it never was used ever.
Yeah.
You never had to leave Hugo anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, you could have done it on purpose. Like, leave him somewhere, let him freak out. It draws the guards over there, then call him back to you.
True. Yeah.
And like, it could have been used, or these other situations where you have to like do it perfectly. Like, leave him here for a little bit so that you can take something out, then get back to him just in time before he freaks out to draw the guards over to where you're going to be. So like, they could have used this in so many different ways and combinations, and it fell flat. Like, there's this whole gameplay mechanic that didn't really do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, potential. This game had so much potential. It wasn't bad, it just wasn't good. It wasn't what it could have been.
Exactly, yeah. It's better than the average, like, 5 out of 10 or whatever, but it could have been like an 8 or 9 out of 10.
Yeah, it could have been 9 out of 10 if they like just went forward, carried their ideas forward that they had introduced.
Right, yeah.
And introduced a couple new ones along the way too. But like, just rats the whole way through. I'm sorry, guys, I'm not. Maybe for somebody who's afraid of rats, this is the most awesome
worst,
game ever.
Worst possible thing they could imagine.
And like rat tornadoes, seeing that, they didn't laugh. They were just like, now they have nightmares about rat tornadoes.
They have like PTSD, which is like rat tornadoes everywhere.
Every night, like, as soon as I close my eyes,
squeak. I can't even go outside anymore. Oh man.
So but for us, the rat tornadoes is really took it out.
To me, I don't mind I didn't mind the rats as much if there was like another thing attached to the rats.
Right.
And they made the ending rats, like the white rats, be more of a problem than what they were. Then I don't mind really the rats too much as they were, like, given those other things.
Right. Sure.
But yeah. The way they had it now, no, the rats are just like, they're no longer your enemy. I mean, even in the end, they're just like your bros
they're
now.
Your friends,
So
the rat,
it's like, learn to love the thing you hate, I guess, is the message in this story. But like I said, it could have been like 8 or 9 out of 10 if they just shelled out and went forward. Maybe it's a smaller dev team. They had like a very limited amount of time to put this out or whatever. So I don't know how the political side of that ended up, but I just feel like it just kind of like takes it out for me a little bit, just because of how much potential I recognize in the game. It doesn't nail it on the head.
The rats were amazing as an introduction to a greater threat. They were an amazing initial threat.
Even the next town that you see, it's not even rat infestation. It's just riddled with plague.
Right.
And that was awesome right off the heels of the rats, because it's like, oh crap, like, this is no longer just rats. This is just like disease is taking over everything.
The rats start this, and then like devastation follows. The next game, Plague Tale Evolution, Plague Tale Infestation, Plague Tale, and then the third game, Plague Tale Devastation. Like, it can all flow. And,
right.
But yeah, this game needed to do more. So.
After that, we appreciate you guys checking it out to the end with us. And let us know what you guys thought. If you really liked the game for what it was, doesn't need any changes. If you just thought it was perfect, let us know. Let us know why you thought that. Or if there was something else that you wanted to see but you just didn't, you could let us know that too. But other than that, we take requests. So if you have other games that you want us to play, just go ahead and leave a comment and let us know what you want to see.
Yeah, so let us know if there are any games that you'd like to see us play, and then we'll check them out and see if we can make it happen.
Yeah, definitely. So, hope you enjoyed our playthrough of Plague Tale: Innocence, and we'll catch you guys in the next game.